Hey guys, in this video I want to show you what the difference is or what the terms destructive and non-destructive mean in Photoshop. When you're working in Photoshop, you can either be creating destructively or editing destructively, or editing or creating non-destructively. And what that means is basically when you're doing something destructively, you can't really go back and forth between what you've done. Once you've done something, it's there, and it's very difficult to separate it from your next steps. So let me show you an example. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and make a new layer here, and I'm going to grab my brush and just do a basic scribble in this color. Now, if I want to erase this color, a destructive method, for example, would be using the eraser tool. So I'm going to grab the eraser tool, which is right here. And with the eraser tool, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I am just going to erase this. Now this is okay if I know for sure that I don't want any of this color over here back. If I do want it back, well, now I have to come back to the brush and brush it again. And in this case it's not such a huge deal, but if I wanted it back exactly the way it was before, it'd be difficult. And so the way around this, if you want to bring back something that you've done, if you don't want to destroy what you've done, you only, for example, want to make a temporary change to it that you can easily undo, that's called a non-destructive method. And the non-destructive version of the eraser tool would be a layer mask. So on this layer that we're working on, you're going to come down to the layers panel and click this little icon right here, which is a circle inside a rectangle. That is the add layer mask icon. And then you'll see that now we have another rectangle next to the layer thumbnail here, and it's linked. And this is your layer mask. And what a layer mask does is allow you to hide or show parts of whatever is on the layer. And the way that it works is you paint with black to hide, and you paint with white to show. So as you can see, everything in the mask right now is white, so nothing is being hidden, everything is visible. Now I have black selected. When you click on a layer mask versus when you click on the actual layer thumbnail here, see I have colors here when I'm on the actual layer thumbnail, but if I click on the mask, my colors automatically go to black and white, and that's because layer masks only understand black and white, and also gray, in betweens. But so I have my black selected here, and I have my brush tool, so that's how I'm going to erase on a layer mask. So if I just draw with black here, it's going to go away. But if I decide, you know what, I want to bring it back, well, then I can just switch my black and white with this little icon right here, this little double-sided curve, this angled arrow. That's going to switch my black to white, my white to black. So now my foreground color is white, whereas it was black before. And now if I paint with white, it's going to bring everything back. And that is how a layer mask works. So a layer mask is basically a non-destructive way to hide a layer or erase a layer, but technically you're not actually erasing it, it's still there. Whereas if you were to use the eraser tool, you would be changing everything, and you could not get this back unless you did an undo. But what if you decided, you want to make another yellow blob over here? Now if you wanted to go back, you would have to undo this yellow blob and then undo this eraser. But if you use the layer mask, I'm going to go to black here. If you erase this, and you can erase the white as well, you can erase the yellow as well, sorry, and with the layer mask you can just bring everything back. And notice how this area isn't being brought back now because I erased it with the eraser tool. So that is one destructive versus non-destructive way of editing in Photoshop. The layer mask is really, really, really important, and as you can see, it gives you incredible flexibility in working. And generally, when you're working in Photoshop, it's good to use layer masks, but if you want to challenge yourself and kind of replicate more closely actual painting, real life drawing and painting, where you can't go back and hide and bring back certain parts of what you're doing, then using the eraser tool or a quote-unquote destructive method might be fun. And that's why I kind of take issue sometimes with the terms destructive and non-destructive, because sometimes destructive opens up new possibilities and challenges you creatively. So that's my take on it. Hope this was interesting. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you here for the next video.